guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and welcome to our Irish family. Today I want to give you an update on where we are in our trying to conceive journey. So we are trying to conceive baby number 2. When I left you last time, we were on our 3rd cycle of trying, but it had taken 5 months to get to that cycle because my periods are very irregular because of my PCOS. So since then, in that video, should I say, I mentioned that whenever I get my period, I'm going to go to the doctor and get her to do cycle day 3 bloods in the hope that I would get metformin. So I got my period after 68 days. So I'm just going to look down at my app. So on the 22nd of November, the 23rd of November, I got my period, which is a Thursday. It started very weirdly, and realistically I think the 24th was the first day of my cycle. So I rang on the 24th and asked if I could get some blood work done, and they said that the first appointment that they have available is Tuesday the 28th of November, which would have made me 1, 2, 3, 4 cycle day 5. So that's still pretty okay because I'm still in that follicular phase of the cycle. So I said that's perfect, I'm gonna do that. So I went on cycle day 28. She took all of the bloods and said it would probably be about 2 weeks before they come back. So that's all good. She couldn't give me any metformin or anything. But in the meantime, just after I made my last video, I decided that I don't want to wait to go to the fertility clinic, that I was just going to make an appointment and see how it goes. Well, I did that, and my appointment was yesterday, the 5th of December. So I went for my bloods on the 28th, and miraculously my GP rang me on Monday the 4th of December and said that all my blood work is back, everything looks fairly okay, and that she would have it printed out in the reception ready for me to collect. Like, that's just like the fates are aligning, because it wasn't supposed to be ready for 1 more week other than that, you know. So I went and collected it yesterday. Myself and Robert went up to our clinic to have a review meeting. So we met with a new doctor because the doctor that we dealt with the last time isn't there, and basically he ran through all my blood work. I have high levels of testosterone and high levels of LH, which is very typical for PCOS. He asked me about my pregnancy with Ava. He asked me about my birth with Ava. He asked me whether I breastfed. All of these questions regarding Ava's birth and labor and pregnancy and stuff. And then he looked at my blood work. He was very impressed that I had it there, because then that means that I didn't have to get it done with the clinic, which was my whole hope, because it probably would have cost me more to get those tests done with the clinic than it did with my GP. So he looked at them. He said, you know, as I said, like, my testosterone was high, my LH is high, and basically he said, when do you want to come? Now, of course, they're probably going to say that because of the fact that they're a private clinic and that's how they make money. But I was pretty happy with that. I was like, you know, next cycle, I would love to go ahead and we'll do an IUI. And he said, that is perfect. We'll put you on the exact same medications that you were on the first time around. Robert will do the exact same thing he did the first time around. And basically, it is a copy and paste exercise, because that's how it works. If it worked that way the first time via IUI, chances are it's gonna work that way this time as well. And because he doesn't see that there's any major changes with both of us. Obviously he needs to check Robert's semen, and I need to get a scan to make sure that there's no cysts in there. So yeah, this was what he recommended. They made an appointment for Robert to get a semen analysis. They told me, oh, a week before your period's due to arrive, you need to come back and get a blood test. Both you and Robert need to come and get a blood test. So, you know, just call us closer to that. And I was like, I have really irregular periods. I'm not gonna know when that is, when a week before my period is, you know. So they're like, oh, Oh, okay, so this was the nurse now. She wanted more clarification on what was been happening with my periods to date. So I told her all the dates. I told her how they vary. Sometimes they're 30 something days and sometimes they're like 60, 70 days. So she said, look, when you get to cycle day 58 and nothing has happened, ring us up. Come, we'll give you a scan to make sure there's no cysts. We'll do the blood draw and we will give you a prescription to start your cycle, and also the prescription what you're going to need for your IUI, so like the Gonal-F and the trigger shot. So the consultant, he gave me a prescription, and in that prescription there is a metformin, so it's 1500 milligrams 1500 milligrams per day, and then he also gave me a prescription for folic acid. So it's the 5 megagrams one. I think that's like the high level folic acid, and also vitamin B complex, 1 tablet per day for 4 weeks. So yeah, so he gave me a prescription for those things, and he said I can start the metformin whenever I want, and I can start all of those things whenever I want. It shouldn't affect anything. So the plan when we left there and up until last night was that Robert was going to go for his semen analysis very close to Christmas, and we were going to ring them in January to get the ball rolling. Now we have to get blood done, and those bloods are basically to check whether we are like HIV, AIDS, those sorts of things. So the first time around their policy was that only the female had to get them done, and this time around their policy is that both the male and female need to get them done, and they cost €150 each. So what I'm going to try to do is get somebody like a doctor, one of our doctors, to see if they use the same lab as that clinic, so to give us a choice of 2 labs that they accept. So I'm going to see if either of our doctors do that, because it would be cheaper to get it done that way. It'd be like half the price maybe. So yeah, that was the plan going forward, that semen analysis for Robert very close to Christmas in January. We're going to start get the ball rolling, hoping by the end of January that we would start our IUI cycle. But on reflection, I kind of decided, and I have discussed it a tiny bit with Robert, that we're not going to do any testing until January. So Robert's not going to go for a semen analysis like 2 days before Christmas, and we're not going to get our bloods done until January. So chances are our IUI cycle, it will be in February. So yeah, that is kind of my update on that. With regards to this cycle today I'm on cycle day 14. But what is very interesting is that my Fertility Friend app says I've ovulated. It says that I've ovulated on Saturday the 2nd of December, which is cycle day 10. So I don't really know if that's true or not. So yeah, that's what it says. So I'll show you my Fertility Friend chart and you can let me know what you think. So obviously every morning I do my my temperature. I did miss the 1st, December the 1st. I did miss taking it that morning. So yeah, I don't know. Like looking at it, it does look like what Fertility Friend has said is true. But I haven't checked my cervical mucus or anything like that. And if it did happen on cycle day 10, or BD that day would have been perfect timing. And then we had skipped 2 days and we only BD'd on 3 DPO it would have been. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes anyway. So that is the plan going forward. We'll see how this turns out, this cycle turns out, whether I really did ovulate on cycle day 10 or what's happening, I don't know. So I will keep you updated as I do every month. And yeah, if you guys are TTC, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to catch up with some people who are currently TTC, whatever baby it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that is it guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do give it a thumbs up if you have. Subscribe if you are new, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.